Hello everyone, welcome back to AutoTrend TV. I'm your Viprajesh again from Ambal Nexa Coimbatore today, and I'm here with the newly launched BS6 compliant petrol Maruti Suzuki S-Cross top spec Alpha variant. The S-Cross has always been the most premium product from Maruti Suzuki in recent times and also has a good number of fan following. It has been a decent all-rounder in its segment while also providing great mileage with the diesel engine. However, this new BS6 S-Cross will no longer be available with a 1.3-litre turbo diesel engine. Instead, this BS6 S-Cross will come with only a 1.5-litre K-Series petrol engine. Now, in terms of design, the BS6 S-Cross Alpha variant comes with LED projector headlamps along with fog lamps, with the headlamps also offering auto leveling function. The front design has remained unchanged, with a vertical slat grille and a higher and more horizontal hood. Here's a quick look at the side profile of the new Maruti Suzuki S-Cross, which of course is also exactly the same as before, and certain design elements look quite similar to the BMW X3. The S-Cross also gets 16-inch dual-tone machined alloy wheels from the Delta variant onwards. These alloy wheels, as you can see, are much better than the single-tone alloy wheels provided on the first generation S-Cross. The S-Cross additionally also provides all-wheel disc brakes as standard. And of course you also get this dual-tone body cladding all around the car. While roof rails are standard from the Delta variant onwards, it is only the Alpha variant which receives silver treatment for the roof rails. Moving towards the back, the design remains exactly the same as before. Although the design may seem a bit generic, it is quite clean and elegant. You get the LED elements in the tail lamps only on the top spec Alpha variant, whereas the reverse parking camera is standard from the Zeta variant onwards. However, the major change is the addition of the SHVS badge on the right side. All the variants of the S-Cross Petrol come as standard with Maruti Suzuki's mild hybrid system on both manual and automatic versions. A rear windshield wiper washer and defogger are also standard from the Delta variant onwards. However, 4 reverse parking sensors are standard across all variants. So that was all about the exteriors of the new BS6 compliant Alpha variant Maruti Suzuki S-Cross Petrol. So now let's get inside the car to check out whether if there are any sort of differences in terms of features and comfort. Yes folks, right now I'm inside the new BS6 compliant Maruti Suzuki S-Cross in this Alpha variant, and this is exactly how the interior looks like. Just like before, the S-Cross interior is neatly laid out, no clutters. It is neat to look at. However, it is definitely kind of dated when you compare with the flamboyant designs of today's era. But still, everything is very well laid out and pretty much solidly built for a Maruti Suzuki. If you see, you have got leather finish all round on this top spec variant. You get a superb quality leather wrapping on the steering wheel. However, the steering wheel itself is of the older generation design, the second generation Swift to be precise. This is the exact same design. However, you get cruise control on the top spec variants, including the Zeta and the Alpha, so that is quite a nice highlight to have. And of course, the steering mounted audio controls are on the left side, which is a standard affair, and you get the Bluetooth telephony controls lower down. The Alpha variant also receives automatic headlamps and automatic wipers. So this is quite neatly laid out. The quality is also decently good, better than every Maruti Suzuki car in India, so that is nice. And of course, coming to the seats also are very familiar. They are superb in terms of overall comfort and support. They have ample side support and under thigh support as well, and the leather quality is also really very good. And on this portion alone, you get perforated treatment for the leather, which is quite nice and unique. The good part about the S-Cross is that the interior quality itself is way better than every other Maruti Suzuki car in India. This is exclusive only for the S-Cross. You can see this very soft finish, squidgy, I don't know, is this plastic? I'm not sure, but this is quite nice to have, and it is definitely much more plush and premium than, say, even the Creta and the Seltos, because even the Creta and the Seltos do not get such soft feel finish on the dashboard. This is quite nice to see on a Maruti Suzuki car. And the dials, of course, are typically analog. I mean, they are not as sophisticated as the fully digital units on the S-Cross or the Creta, but this is better. This is much more clear to use. Let me just turn on the power. This here is the button start. Of course, automatic engine start stop with push button start is available on the top spec variants, whereas the basic variants get only a key start. So this here is the button start, and This is how the dials look like, and this is how the interior looks like when you start everything. So this is typically the 7-inch smart play touchscreen infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, similar to almost every other Maruti Suzuki car in the country. So let's talk about the dials right now. This is backlit in sort of a bluish theme, and it's quite nice, I should say. It is much more clear than those digital units on certain modern cars, but still it provides you with enough details. In order to go through the options on this MID, you have these stalks on the further sides of the instrument cluster. So you get idling time, fuel saved, and so on, instantaneous efficiency, average efficiency, range, average speed. So everything is available in this itself, and on the left side is for resetting the system. So this is quite easy and simple to use, not as flamboyant, but still very practical and easy to use even at night times at higher speed. So this is quite nice. The fuel gauge is surprisingly very small and located below the speedometer, and the engine temperature gauge is also again very small, located below the tachometer. So that's all about this. It is quite nice and simple, easy, and very easy to use. So coming to other bits of the interior, you get this touchscreen system with 6 speakers. The quality is decent. It is not so excellent, but still it works very well. I mean, of course, most of the customers, most of the buyers will obviously upgrade the speakers, and of course that is required for audiophiles. Apart from that, this system is quite slick and nice to use. Let me just try using something, and as you can see, the response is reasonably quick and slick. The display itself is quite colorful. So as you can see, it is one among the better audio systems in the Indian market today. And coming lower down, you get automatic climate control from the mid-spec variant itself. So this is again very easy to use, very simply laid out, and even the quality of the buttons, everything is quite nice and has got a good feedback. So this is the automatic climate control. Just below that, you get a very large storage bin where the key is located, and this here is the key, the smart key of the S-Cross. This is exactly the same key seen on the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz as well, so there is no difference here. It is quite nicely shaped and very compact. So that is all about that. And this here is the USB aux port for the infotainment system. So coming to the gear lever, of course, the S-Cross is available with either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed torque converter automatic transmission carried over from the Ertiga XL6 and the Ciaz. So no difference in the powertrain and the gearing as well. So that is all about the transmission. Now coming behind, you get the handbrake lever and couple cup holders which are decent in size. You can easily fit medium sized cups or bottles over here, which is quite nice. And opening the armrest, you get to see a 12-volt charging socket along with a decent amount of storage space. However, this armrest cannot be slid forward or backwards, but still the overall positioning of the armrest is quite handy and decent. However, the armrest is kind of hard. It's just got one layer of leather wrapping, no cushion, so it is quite hard. It's okay, fine. On the other hand, the armrest on the doors is quite heavily padded. It is superbly plush and very soft. That is quite nice. And look at the detailing of the texture. It is perforated for additional comfort, so that is nice. And coming to the driver door, of course, this is exactly the same as before, and you get the very same buttons and controls seen on every other Maruti Suzuki car all across the country. You get the very same power window buttons. So as you can see, you get one touch up and down function for only the driver window, whereas other windows are just regular use. And of course, you also get a central window lock along with lock and unlock buttons right above that. You also get auto folding ORVMs as standard on the top spec variants. So that is all. And of course, coming to the door handles, these are basically the same door handles seen even on the second generation Maruti Swift, the Ertiga, the Dzire, and almost every other Maruti Suzuki car. So that is also again familiar. Coming to the right side of the steering wheel, you get the auto engine start stop button. This is for the SHVS system, and if you don't want this to intervene often, you can even turn this off, so that is quite handy. And this here is the button for the front fog lamps. So that was all, and this here is another small cubby hole. Now let's come to the roof, and of course, coming to the roof, this top spec variant also gets auto dimming IRVM. As you can see, this is carried forward from the Brezza, and it is nice and decent in terms of shape and size. It is a nice feature to have. And of course, you also get a sunglass holder on the roof, along with couple roof lamps, which can be turned on individually or together. And of course, the top spec variants of the S-Cross also get a vanity mirror with individual lighting, even on the driver's side vanity mirror. So that is quite a nice feature to have. And of course, the passenger side also gets a separate one. So this is quite nicely thought out and very well laid out. And well, coming to the storage spaces, you get to see this very standard sized glove box, which is quite decent in terms of shape and size. And the opening mechanism itself is also quite soft, kind of befitting the premium brand image of Nexa. And of course, just like every other Maruti Suzuki, you get 1 liter bottle holders all around the car. So that was all. Now let's get to the back seat of the S-Cross to see whether if there are any differences in terms of features and comfort. Yes folks, right now I'm in the back seat of the new BS6 compliant Maruti Suzuki Petrol S-Cross top spec alpha variant, and this is how the dashboard looks like. It may be simple and it may look dated, but the overall quality is much better than every Maruti Suzuki in India, and it is quite easy to use as well. Now coming to the rear seats, of course the space and comfort has always been pretty good in the S-Cross, be it the now discontinued diesel version or even the previous generation version. So the overall space is quite decent. It is almost as good as any other compact SUV in India, and the seat comfort itself is pretty good. The overall thigh support is much better than any other Maruti Suzuki I have been in, and it is easy to use. It is of course very comfortable. You also get couple adjustable headrests on, say, from the middle spec variant itself, and of course you also get a center armrest from the mid spec variant itself. So it is properly premium and very comfortable to sit in. And the highlight feature of the S-Cross, just like on the Seltos and the Creta, is that you can recline the rear seats for one step. So this here is the lever to adjust the recline function. This is the first position and this is the second position. Even though it seems like a very small difference between both the positions, on long drives this could make you feel a bit more comfortable than before. So that is all about the back seats, and just like before, you get 1 liter bottle holders on every door, and you also get a separate cabin light for the rear seats located at the center. So that was all, and it is a properly comfortable cabin for 5 people. As you can see, you can easily fit 3 adults easily at the back. However, the middle passenger needs to struggle with this large center console, because this extends quite a bit further into the rear seat space, and you of course also get this rather medium sized hump. So it is best for 4 according to me, because 4 people will be absolutely at great comfort in the back seat. And you of course get these seat back pockets, which are okay in size. So that was all about the back seats of the new Maruti Suzuki S-Cross Alpha petrol version. And now let's check out the boot.
To open the boot of the Maruti Suzuki S-Cross, you can just press this button under the Suzuki logo, or you can use this secondary button if you have the key in your pocket and the car is locked. And this here is the 375 liter boot space of the Maruti Suzuki S-Cross, which is exactly the same as before. It is quite a square and well laid out luggage space. And the biggest advantage is that you do not get any sort of loading lip, so that it is very easy to load. As you can see, it is almost a flat loading bay. And you also get certain nice bits such as the storage pockets on either side, and you also get a separate hook on the left side. As I would show you, this here is the small hook on the left side, and on the right side you get a 12-volt charging socket along with a small boot lamp. And of course, just like any other car in its category, the S-Cross also gets 60-40 split folding rear seats. However, this 60-40 split mechanism is standard across all variants of the S-Cross. Locking the rear seats in the first position could release a bit more luggage space. But of course, if you don't have any rear seat passengers, you can just fold the rear seats completely flat. So as you can see, I have folded one side of the rear seat, and folding both the rear seats could release up to 810 liters of overall luggage space. So that was all about that. Under the boot floor is a 16-inch full-size steel spare wheel with 215 section tire, which can be used permanently as well. And of course you also get all the jack and toolkit along with it. So there are a lot of thoughtful touches in the S-Cross, even in the boot. Despite the overall luggage capacity is lower than that provided on the Seltos and the Creta, it is still quite very usable and very thoughtful. Now let's check out the engine bay. Yes, opening the bonnet of the Maruti Suzuki S-Cross, you will immediately realize that this is one heavy bonnet for a Maruti Suzuki car. This bonnet is quite large and also very heavy, heavier than even the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz. So this is the only Maruti Suzuki car built solidly, and under the bonnet is the very familiar 1.5 liter 4-cylinder K-series non-turbocharged petrol engine, which produces around 105 bhp of maximum power and a torque figure of 138 Nm through either a 5-speed manual transmission or a 4-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. Now this is the exact same engine and transmission options seen on the Ertiga, the XL6 and even the Ciaz. So while this engine may not be the best in terms of performance, it is definitely going to be quite economical and smooth. The ARAI claimed efficiency for this manual version
is around 18.5 km per liter,
whereas the automatic version is claimed to give around 18.4 km per liter. And of course, just like every other car, ABS along with EBD are standard across all variants. So that was all about the engine and transmission options on the new Maruti Suzuki S-Cross. Now let's talk about the pricing and conclude this review. So that was a detailed review of the newly launched BS6 compliant petrol Maruti Suzuki S-Cross Alpha variant. It is definitely not the most powerful or the most feature loaded car in its category, and it also does not have the presence of the Creta or the Seltos. But the S-Cross is a very trustworthy car in its category, which provides decent value for money, decent features and decent comfort. It is also the only Maruti Suzuki car in India to have a strong solid build quality. Again, with the very familiar and trustworthy 1.5 liter K-series petrol engine, this new S-Cross could also find a lot of buyers. It also seems like a great value for money option, especially at the price range it has been launched, and can be a great alternative to either a C-segment sedan or a compact SUV. So do let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this new BS6 petrol S-Cross? Meanwhile, this is Viprajesh signing off. See you on another video. Thank you for watching.